What is going on, guys? Welcome to 13th Android app development tutorial. This is again Shrek from SmartHerd. From this tutorial onwards, we will talk about the widgets and widgets. First, we are gonna start with the basic widgets, that is buttons in Android. We will discuss various methods how you can handle the button on click by using 3 methods. This is the method 1, guys, and this is the part 1 tutorial of our buttons in Android. Now let's proceed. Now before we proceed, I would like you to introduce with a basic example of event handling. Now let us consider a rich spoiled brat, or you can say a Eve teaser, who dare to tease a girl walking down the street. Now this lady shouts, but no people around her hear her shout and do dare to fight with this Eve teaser except one, who is her boyfriend. Her boyfriend respond to her shout and actually perform an action such as a tight punch on that boy's face. Now similar thing happens in the case of Android widgets. Now let us consider a user using a smartphone or using your application that you made. Now suppose user hits on a button. Now in response to the click that user has done, it creates an event. Now this event is actually listened by only one listener, which is concerned of this button click. Now there are many other listeners which do not respond to such an event. Now in the case of buttons, we have an on-click listener. So it is the event listener that responds to an event, and this event listener ignites a functionality, or you can say it performs an action such as downloading, calling, messaging, or submit a registration form, blah blah blah, whatever you can say. Now these two parallel processes you can interrelate with each other. This is an event, this is an event listener, and the action is performed here. Now whole this process is actually known as event handling in Android. So this was the basic stuffs how the things goes on. Now let's proceed forward. There are actually 3 ways to handle the button click. What are they? The first is implementing the on click listener of buttons in our main activity class, or you can say action bar activity class. Second is using the inner class on click listener inside our action bar activity class. And the third, which is quite simple, handling button through our XML layout. Now third one is very simple, not very complex. Now in this tutorial, guys, I am going to discuss the first method of implementing on click listener in our action bar activity class. Now let's proceed and check our XML layout. The codes is as follows. Suppose we have a button widgets in our relative layout or linear layout, whatever you are using. Now inside the button you have an ID. Now this ID always has to be unique. No other button should have the same ID, or no other widgets should have the same ID. This ID you can change it as per your wish. By default, the Eclipse IDE creates an ID button 1, button 2, button 3 like this. Now we have our attributes, wrap content, height and width, whatever. Now the text you can see here, click me, you can write it like this: Android text equal to click me. Now guys, it is not recommended to use the text directly. You can use @string / click _ me, and in the string.xml you can create a string having the string value click me like this. Just to save time, guys, I have just written click space me like this. Now let's check out the codes of our main activity. Now this is our basic structure: public class main activity, which extends the action bar activity, and inside this class we are having the on create bundle. Right now let us initialize our button space button _ name. Now if you import the button widget in your main activity, then what you are gonna do, you have to import the package android.widget.button. It is actually the auto generated, you don't have to type it here. Right now after that you have to complete the initialization by initializing the button _ name inside the on create like this. This is the syntax. I'm going to explain the syntax in the next tutorial. Don't worry, guys, I will show you the codes. Now you have to implement an on click listener after the action bar activity. This is actually an interface. So when you implement on click listener, it is just going to show an error. So you have to import the package of the on click listener. This on click listener is actually an interface. So if you are implementing an interface, so you have to override the method belonging to the on click listener. So we have to override what? Public void on click view v. This is actually an auto generated method, and inside the on click we have to write the action that we have to perform when the user clicks on the button, that is click me. So if you're not understanding the codes right here, guys, don't worry. In the next tutorial, I'm going to show you the codes. So stay tuned, guys. This is Shakes from Smart Herd signing off.